Okay, so we've all seen solar panels, right? They're on rooftops everywhere. But what separates a good solar project from a truly great one, an award-winning one? It's so much more than just slapping some panels on a roof. Let's dig in.
And that's a fantastic question, isn't it? Because the answer, it goes way deeper than just generating power. We're talking about real ingenuity, incredible craftsmanship, and solving some seriously specific challenges.
So to get to the bottom of this, we're going to use the APsystems 2025 Project of the Year Awards as our guide. Think of these less like trophies on a shelf and more like, well, like blueprints for excellence. They really show us what makes a solar project stand out from the crowd. And here's the thing you really got to get. It's not about which brand is on the panel. The projects that win awards, the ones that really make you go, wow, they're all about tackling tricky, real-world problems with some seriously smart, elegant solutions. All right, let's dive into our main case study. I'm calling this one the 6-Roof Puzzle. We're heading to Longwood, Florida, to check out a residential project that is, honestly, a masterpiece of solar engineering. This thing is the perfect example of overcoming huge complexity. So get this, how many panels are we talking about? 114. Yeah, 114 solar panels on a single house. Now that number is huge, for sure, but the real story, the amazing part, is how they actually made it all work together. Okay, so this was not an easy job. The installers were facing a serious puzzle. First off, you've got 6, count them 6, separate roof surfaces. They're all at different angles, facing different directions. Then you've got pockets of shade popping up all over the place during the day. And on top of all that, they had to do it while keeping the home's beautiful design intact, which meant routing all the wiring through the attic. No easy task. So that leads to the big question, right? With all those challenges, with shade hitting different panels at different times, how in the world do you make sure every single one of those 114 panels is pulling its own weight? This is where the genius of the design really shines. You see, a lot of older systems use what's called a string inverter. And the best way to think about that is like those old, cheap holiday lights. You know, the ones, if one bulb goes out, the whole string dies? Well, it's the same idea. One shaded panel can drag down the performance of the whole system. But this project used the smart approach, microinverters. With a microinverter, every single panel gets its own little brain. Each one is a star performer. So if its neighbor is in the shade, who cares? It just keeps producing at its absolute maximum potential. That was the secret sauce that made this 6-roof monster work. So you go through all that technical trouble. You do all that brilliant design work. What's the payoff? How about this? A savings of about $1,000 on the electricity bill every single month. That's not just a number. That's a life-changing amount of money. And you know, it wasn't just the homeowner who was blown away. The work was so clean, so professional, that the official county inspector literally said the workmanship and attention to detail were outstanding. I mean, when you impress the inspector, you know you've done something right. Okay, so that's an amazing residential project. But this way of thinking, this focus on solving specific problems, it isn't just for houses. Let's take a look at how this exact same approach is making a huge difference for communities and businesses, too. Okay, first up, let's go to Washington State. There's a church there that won the nonprofit award. They used a grant to set up a solar and battery system. Now think about what that means. When a big storm hits and the power goes out for the whole community, the church stays on. It literally becomes a refuge. A safe, warm place where people can go, charge their phones, and just be together. That's solar doing more than making power. That's solar providing real peace of mind. Or how about this one? Beer powered by the sun. A brewery down in Georgia had a really tricky commercial roof. I mean, you can't just slap panels anywhere. You've got fence, pipes, HVAC units. It's a total obstacle course. So what did they do? They used that same custom design philosophy. They mapped out every single viable inch of roof space to squeeze out the maximum amount of energy without messing with their operations. How cool is that? And this next one in Los Angeles is it's really powerful. They installed solar on an affordable housing community. And what that does is it directly lowers the utility bills for the residents. This is what we mean by energy equity. For these families, a smaller electric bill isn't just nice. It can mean more money for food, for school supplies, for healthcare. It's a huge deal. So we've seen a super complex home, a community church, a brewery, an apartment building. What's the big takeaway from all of this? What connects all these innovative projects? You know, the common thread here, it isn't a product. It's not a particular brand of panel or inverter, it's a philosophy. It's all about tailoring advanced technology to solve very unique, very specific problems. So, really, the principles of an award winning solar project boil down to three simple things. First, it starts with a custom design. You have to really analyze the unique challenge you're facing. Second, you pick the right tool for the job, using advanced tech that's perfectly suited to that problem. And third, and this is the most important one, you make sure it all adds up to a meaningful impact. You're not just installing hardware, you're solving a real problem for real people. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Excellence in solar isn't just about hammering panels onto a roof. It's about creative problem solving. And it kind of makes you look around and wonder, right? What energy problems in your world, in your community, your business, maybe even your own home are just sitting there, waiting for their own unique, brilliant solution?